Okay, now we have another beautiful speaker, Giselle Whitwell. Am I pronouncing it right? Giselle. Giselle. Okay. Following more than 2 decades as a music educator, Giselle was certified as a board certified music therapist, focusing her attention on prenatal period of life. During the last 20 years, she has given lectures and workshops on prenatal music in the United States, South America, Europe, Russia, and Asia. She continues her work at a Center for Prenatal and Perinatal Music. In addition, she is also certified as a Therapeutic Singing Facilitator based on the Werbeck training known as the School of Uncovering the Voice. The topic is no words, only prenatal music. So, to play the beautiful notes of music, its effects, and its creativity, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Giselle Whitwell.
I would like to begin by thanking first Manashakti for this incredible conference of such rich research and stimulation. Also, the APA Association, as well as the sister organization, and all the other organizations around the world that are participating in this kind of activity. I need to speak here. I like to move though. Okay. Music is a universal language that enjoys an expression in all cultures, all nations, and all peoples. As human beings, we express ourselves daily with the word and in singing. Aside from our human reproduction, our voice is the most expressive vehicle that creates with regularity in our life. Music is an ancient art and a science that has been used to promote health and well-being throughout the ages. And it has been used in religious practices and rituals. During pregnancy in particular, the inherent qualities of music offer a unique opportunity to support and nurture both mother and child in the womb, as well as the father. Many have voiced that sound is the therapy of the future. In regard to the beginning of human life, sound, tone, and music can be used as a preventive measure as well as a resource to support the full potential and conscious development of the baby in the womb and the mother during this transformative time in their lives. Sound is the primordial organizer of the universe. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. And the Word was God is written in the Gospel of St. John. Many spiritual traditions speak of sound as being the formative force of creation. Interestingly, in the ancient Hindu Vedas we read, "In the beginning was Brahman, with whom was the Word, and the Word is Brahman." Psalms 33 says, "By the word of the Lord were the heavens made, and all the host of them by the breath of his mouth." Recent studies point to sound as having reigned supreme as the primal force organizing all of matter, especially during the first million years of creation. Nope, that's not it. Yeah. On a cosmic scale, there may be evidence that sound has left its imprint on the galaxies. Some scientists argue that the galaxies are not arranged at random, but in a regular pattern of clusters. Now, research are suggesting that it was primordial sound waves that helped create this pattern of clusters. It's So, what is sound? According to modern science, it's a vibration transmitted through an elastic solid, gas, or liquid, measured in frequencies in the approximate range between 20 and 20,000 hertz. The higher the frequency, the higher the pitch. Sound, vibration, and matter. This is a cymatic figure from Hans Jenny. Sound is a powerful vibration which has an impact not only on our physiology, but also on our whole being. It can shape matter and reaches us at the cellular level, as we will see further on. In the 18th century, a German scientist and musician, Ernst Chladni, the father of acoustics, showed how sound affects matter. As he drew a violin bow around the edge of a metal plate covered with fine sand, one could see formed intricate geometric patterns, such as that one, and they became known as Chladni figures. This work has continued last century with Hans Jenny, Alexander Lauterwasser, and with Masaru Emoto, of which you have seen some of the images. In this work, we can witness how different frequencies in pitches and in speech, they shape water, sand, and other mediums. Hans Jenny was a Swiss doctor and scientist who died in 1972. His work was known as cymatics, the science and structure of wave formation and vibration on matter, which he published in 2 volumes entitled Cymatics. It is a methodology that demonstrates the vibratory nature of matter and the transformational nature of sound. We can see what materializes when one takes different materials such as sand, spores, iron filings, water, or viscous substances, and places them on a vibrating metal plate and membranes. The figures that emerge through sound vibration will maintain their shape as long as the tone or pitch remains the same. If the amplitude measured in decibels, that is, loudness, changes, so does the pattern. These figures appear like they're frozen, but in reality, they're pulsing at a consistent rhythm that is actually visible, and they look like living entities. Jenny arrived at the startling conclusion that it is beyond doubt that where organization is concerned, the harmonic figures of physics are in fact essentially similar to the harmonic patterns of organic nature. What Jenny found in these images is that vibration, form, and motion constitute an indivisible whole. The frequency of sound increased the complexity of patterns, whereas the amplitude became more turbulent and quicker. In 1967, Dr. Jenny created the tonoscope, which enabled us to see the effects of the voice. He suggested that the key to understanding how we can heal the body with the help of tones lies in our understanding of how different frequencies influence genes, cells, and various structures in the body, further recommending that through the study of the human ear and larynx, we would be able to come to a deeper understanding of the ultimate effect of vibrations. Alexander Lauterwasser, born in 1956, is a German researcher and photographer who pursued the interest of the phenomena of cymatics with particular interest in the medium of water. Likewise found that these similar geometric patterns of sound were seen in nature, plants, and animals. He published a book in 2007 with his research entitled water, sound, images, the creative music of the universe. Following, I'd like to show some samples of these. This is an example of how can be seen through cymatics. You can see how beautiful they are, all mandalas. This next one is the same note. What changes is the vowel. In this next slide, we can see these are the tones on the piano starting on middle C. So you have the half tones, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, and so on. And you can see how each tone has a different figure, different mandala shape. This is an example of the water images from Lauterwasser. And what's interesting, you can see this is the cymatic figures, and these are the organic figures. Like you can see the pentagram above and then the flower below. And here, a fourfold pattern of a leaf. Masaru Emoto developed a special technology by photographing crystals. He demonstrates how sound and words become visible. Emoto said that water was a blueprint for our reality, and that emotional energies and vibrations could change the physical structure of water. Here are some samples of his work. First, on this side, we have a classical piece by Franz Schubert, a song called Ave Maria. And you can see the organization, the beauty. And on the other side, you see the image of what heavy metal music would look like. Important to remember that because it has to do with the kind of music we choose for pregnant mothers. No, I'm missing one. There's one slide missing here. Well, there was one more amazing slide, I'm sad it's not here, in which it shows, again, it's a Masaru Emoto image. You have the image that is called umbilical cord, and then happy home. And the similarity is very much like the Ave Maria, very similar. So we can imagine that if the baby is happy in the womb, the cord is also very harmonious. The work of these scientists and researchers lead us to the understanding that through sound, we vibrate substance, our body, simultaneously with our thoughts and feelings. Thus, we are creating images in ourselves with the choices we make. When we think or feel an emotion, we send out a frequency, a form similar to the geometric sound patterns we have seen above. When we are stressed or entertain negative thoughts and emotions, we deharmonize these patterns by creating illness and discomfort. Water and sound. The baby in the womb is surrounded by amniotic fluid, and water happens to be a very good conductor of sound. According to some scientists, sound not only structured our universe, but it also may have been at work in the Earth's primordial oceans. Science is beginning to explore the forces of sound in this environment. Although invisible, sound is actually highly structured, as we have seen in the above images, and why it's such a powerful medium. Water affects sound in several ways. It moves much faster than through air, travels longer distances. Water tends to muffle sound that is otherwise clear in air. Water also carries memory, as found by Professor Bernd Kroplen from Stuttgart University, who wrote an article entitled, "Water Picks Up Information Everywhere It Goes." This was a brief introduction to bring awareness about the significance and value of tone. This importance plays out particularly when the mother sings to her baby in the womb. The importance of singing. The baby in the womb is highly stimulated through sound and song throughout the mother's pregnancy because the cradling pelvic bones and the amniotic waters are both excellent conductors of sound. Both of these elements amplify the sound as the speed of sound in water is 5 times faster than through air. For the baby, the experience of sound and music is like receiving a most pleasurable sound massage. And it is also because the vestibular system develops first, which contributes to this feeling. Uterine sounds form a sound carpet over which the mother's voice in particular appears very distinct, and to which the prenatal baby gives special attention to because it's so different from its own uterine environment. The voice of the mother is vital because it establishes the first patterns of communication and conscious bonding. Ashley Montagu, an American anthropologist, said, "If people would pay attention to nurturing and bonding, it would be a less violent world." The voice of the mother when singing has a richer frequency range than when speaking. By that we mean whenever you sing a tone, it has an envelope of other 12 tones called harmonics. Singing starts with deep breathing. In so doing, it facilitates the release of tension, promoting relaxation. And as we have heard, tension and stress is a big negative event for the mother, increasing the intake of oxygen and energizing the depleted forces of the mother. The voice will likely provide a vehicle for the father to bond with his child by motivating him to learn his own lullaby when he has to get up at night and comfort the baby. And he can also sing directly over the mother's abdomen. The mother's voice in particular provides a reassuring structure to the baby because of the promise of repetition and continuity. Michelle Odon, obstetrician and researcher, believes that women, have a profound need to sing to their babies, but that the medicalization of birth has upset the process. The elements of music, namely tonal pitch, timbre, intensity, and rhythm, are also the elements that we use in speaking a language. Music prepares the ear, the body, and the brain to listen to, integrate, and produce language sounds. The baby in the womb is learning the patterns of sound and frequency of the language of his culture. As Dr. Burney mentioned already, but a review, Henry Truby, the emeritus professor of pediatrics and linguistics of the University of Miami, points out that after the 6th month, the baby moves in rhythm to the mother's speech. Newborns have shown a preference for a melody for their mother sang to them in utero rather than a new song sung by her because they develop memory. Lullabies heard prenatally are remembered after birth and therefore have a very calming effect. The baby will be comforted by the familiarity of the lullabies because they represent a source of stability in the changes and adjustments to the environment outside the womb, supporting the postpartum period. Mm. These lullabies form a bridge from the known to the unknown. Parents I've worked with have related to me that they bring special comfort during the postpartum period, the adjustment, because it helps the babies when they suffer from colic. The greatest benefit to the babies in the womb will be derived from live music, particularly the mother's voice, because it's the most soothing and stimulating to the baby, and also richer in harmonics, as I've mentioned, and sound vibration. Singing strengthens the diaphragm muscle, which needs exercising for labor and delivery. Frédéric Leboyer, a French childbirth educator, encourages women to sing while in labor for all the reasons I've mentioned above. Michel Audin had ongoing singing gatherings for pregnant and postpartum families in his hospital in Pithiviers, France. He found that by exercising the diaphragm muscles, women concentrate more on the exhalation, which helps them relax during labor. Music is also important because there is a relationship between the larynx and the vaginal floor. If there's tightness in the jaw and the mouth, it will likewise be felt in the vagina. Physiologically, there are close similarities that we see in the relationship in the body between the above and the below. For example, we talk about lips and labia. These two areas of the larynx and the uterus share also similar functions, whether it's saliva and the moisture in the vaginal floor. Rudolf Steiner, an anthroposophist, the creator of anthroposophy, has suggested that the uterus is actually a transformed heart. Mothers in my prenatal courses learn a variety of songs, chants, mantras, and different ways of vocalizing, toning and humming, which provide to the mothers empowerment and freedom by giving them the means to manage discomfort, stress, doubt, discouragement. They're able to calm their mind and balance the systems of the body. Her voice is a musical instrument that is always accessible for her needs, and through it, the music becomes an extension of her heart that sings to the baby the fullness of who she is as a human being. A clinical study published by the International Journal of Pediatrics in 2012 mentioned that in the title, Maternal Music Exposure During Pregnancy Influences Neonatal Behavior, indicating in their conclusion that prenatal music exposure to mother significantly and favorably influences neonatal behavior. This is one of the mothers in one of our exercises. In the present, there is a debate regarding the belief that all music is equal but my observation in the practice of prenatal music has led me to differ. And as you could see in the slides, there is considerable difference in the mandala shape. As seen in the slides, there is a qualitative difference in the frequencies in speech and in song. For example, a rock composition would not carry the pattern of harmony and beauty that's commensurate with the classical piece that pulses in an organized manner. When parents are made aware of the differences, they will forego their favorite music in pregnancy if it happens to be rock. I worked with a mother who was a pop singer, and up to the second trimester, she was singing in a pub with her classical, with a electronic guitar. And when she learned that about the consequences, she let go of her performance until after the birth. And I also was her doula. She had a home birth, and she had a very difficult labor, back labor, with much pain. And while I'm massaging her back, to my surprise, she started singing a melody from Johann Sebastian Bach. And this was totally astounding because it was an introduction to her to classical music. So it is possible to change, to experience other opportunities. There is no time to talk about our sense of hearing. Just a few quick points. The sense of hearing develops fully in utero. There's little distortion of the voice of the mother in utero, except the external voices sound muffled, something like this. According to Dr. Tomatis, the otolaryngologist that was mentioned from France, he was a leading authority in auditory neurophysiology. He studied in depth the hearing of the unborn fetus and found that sound is not produced in the mouth nor in the body, but in the bones. He suggests that the mother's voice can penetrate through her bones into the uterus, and he says, "It's all in the bones of the body that are singing. It's like a vibrator exciting the walls of the church, which also sing." He points out that the frequency of high sounds, rich in harmonics, are the ones that energize the brain. In conclusion, I think music would be of great benefit in the care of mothers and babies at the beginning of life, next to nutrition and yoga and all the other services that she needs. I think music can usher a mother through her initiation into childbirth and motherhood with health, joy, and peace. Yehudi Menuhin said, "When one sings out of his soul, at the same time he heals his inner world." And Sri Aurobindo said, "Love is the keynote, joy is the music. Knowledge is the performer, the infinite all is the composer and audience." And I cannot conceive finishing a lecture without at least singing one song. So, I think this song might be familiar to you. And for those who don't know what it means, the middle part, it's a dedication to the Divine Mother. And the middle part has to do with the blissful mother, the blissful, beautiful mother. So I would like to ask you if you kindly please would stand up. And just feel, and just spread apart your legs a little bit and feel your knees are soft. And just breathe a couple of times, just 2 times from the belly. because that's where good breathing begins. Just a nice belly breath and a nice long exhalation. And one more time. From the belly and out. And letting go. And I'd like to ask you, after we finish singing, please don't applaud, because I'd like the resonance to stay with us as much as possible. And so if you know the song, please sing with me. But if not, I'll sing the first phrase and you will echo me, or you sing it back to me, please. Pajamana ma 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 ma. Pajamana ma 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 ma. Pajamana ma 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 ma. Pajamana ba ma ma ma. Let us sing those two lines. Here we go. Pajamana ma 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 ma. Pajamana ma ma ma. Amandamai mama. I'm just sing a little bit higher. Anandamai mama. Ananda rupa mama. Again. Anandamai mama. Ananda rupa mama. One more time, just these two lines here, just this part here. We can sing it through. Pajamana mama, ma. For the first time, it's up, and then the second time, repeat it, you sing down. I'll show you with my hand. Mana pajama, pajamana Anandamai Anandamai No, first time goes up and the second time goes down again. Anandamai Anandarupa ma. No, listen again. Anandamai mama. Second time. Anandamai rupa mama. Okay, let's sing that. Anandamai mama. Ananda rupa mama. Pajamama mama. Pajamama mama. Thank you.
And I'm really happy that perhaps we have forgotten what we have in our culture and they are remembering us. And thanks for reminding all of us. Thank you. So nice of you.